Yes, got a lot of great topics this evening and looking forward to it a little bit earlier tonight. So Christopher's not up till 2 a.m.
We I
Maybe
appreciate that. Yes, thank
maybe
you.
1 a.m. So
Yes.
so and Christopher survived and Samantha made it through the heat wave over there. So thank goodness. And
Yes.
Is it over already, or is it still ongoing?
It has, well, the really bad stuff broke actually just this morning when it was just about 80. So the hundreds, which it was for like Wednesday and Thursday, yesterday was like 95. So
Oof.
but as I was telling Matt, it was crazy. So we don't need to get into a lot of it in this, but they are hopefully going to be changing the way they look at AC and some of the stuff. But so it's
Yeah, you'd think. I don't know why it seems like a moral opposition in Europe to
it
having
is.
AC,
oh,
and I
It
don't
really is.
understand that.
Well,
well,
That doesn't
they've
make any
been
sense
brought
to me.
up in a culture where they think that AC is bad because of the climate. And as we were just telling Matt, it's like it's 70% is like nuclear power. So the AC is not going to put like a dent in the climate
Yeah,
in terms of that. And then it's just so
well,
it's how they've been brought up. I mean, again, it's kind of a little brainwashing that
well,
kind
I
of
mean,
thing.
I get it. I think it's silly though.
I was in
Well,
Maine,
when
this past
thousands of
week.
people die, it
I was in
is.
Maine
Yeah,
this past week. Similar, it's similar climate to Europe. I mean,
yeah.
like,
Wait,
it
yeah.
was nice and 60 there, but I was talking to the house homeowner, and he has split backs. So like it's like a piece of artwork, and out on the side it has little AC vents or air vents, and so it can blow, put out a little bit of AC even in there. I mean, we didn't need it. You almost needed the heat, but like, it was still like he runs it just to get the humidity out of the house because it's so humid up there. But
Yeah.
it there's ways around it, and so I mean they don't have central AC at their house, but like he
Right.
was still able to like get some AC if needed because there's he said there's a few weeks where he has to run it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's. You want to
So
start off with our wonderful BFFL and
yeah,
rocket and rolling?
yeah. Well, I got some preliminary super weekend plans.
Awesome.
That's
Talked
good.
to Dan and Scott. So we're gonna do Friday evening at Scott's house. He's gonna host Friday evening poker
Wow.
night.
Okay. Great.
And then Saturday we're gonna have the draft at the Battery. Uh,
Whoa.
for the
Wow.
break. So at Dan and Nancy's office, and
No
so
way.
yeah, and so it's gonna be on the first floor. They couldn't get alcohol on the eighth floor, but Scott's like, just don't ask, like so because Scott works there as well, so we might be able
All
to get
right.
up to the eighth floor and see like Tourist Ballpark and stuff. So Saturday during the day, and there's like tours of the Battery, like if people want to do that. And then Saturday evening we'll be here at my place, and I
Oh,
got this huge island for paper football. We can do indoor if it's not raining. We can have outdoor TV as well. I got an outdoor for college football, so looking
nice.
forward to it.
Awesome.
So
Yeah,
Wow.
I am as well.
That sounds great. That sounds great. And
Christopher's
new
booking his
venue.
flight. He's like, I'm gonna hop on a
Uh,
plane. I mean,
oh, it's so hard. My first miss in 36 years. It's
I
it's
know.
it's. But we'll be there at the draft via this.
Yeah.
So we'll be there to enjoy some parts of that. So
But
that'll be
yeah, that's kind of our preliminary plans. I'm going to send out an email tomorrow
okay.
about that. I got the trophies that are at my house to the trophy place today. So, there's a few, they're still out there. I'll have to email those guys. But, and then got the website bought. I mean, website's ready to go for this year. Just got that going. Went in and made the changes that were passed as far as scoring
Oh,
goes. Oops.
we lost
And
Christopher.
yeah, I think he paused maybe. I don't know. There you go. That happens. Make sure you're back on, but we don't see you.
Yes. Okay. see what we can do here. So,
I was going to ask about the draft order and if
Mhm.
that's been fully finalized.
Yeah, it has. I can pull it up really quick. Yeah,
I feel like every year I'm in the same exact spot. Like my options this year were like, Matt said, well, you can have pick 6 through 9. And I'm like,
I think that's the same text I send you every year.
yeah, it probably is. I know I've ranted about it here on here before, but
yeah, it's you know, but yeah, it's been finalized. Like
we
on
lost
the
Christopher again.
yeah, I'll wait till he gets back up here. But let's see if we can get him in here.
Have you been all right?
There we go.
go.
But yeah, draft order's been set. Sometimes it takes a couple days, but yeah, Wayne had the last pick, so he got pick number 8.
Oh, great.
So he's right there with you. So and
Who's
then,
pick number 10?
Doug and Oscar. So tailgaters.
And then we're 11 and Matt's 12.
I'm 12.
Oh.
Killer row there, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So it goes Wayne, me, tailgaters,
Yep.
Matt,
Heroes.
Christopher, and Samantha. Okay.
No.
Or other way around, yeah.
Heroes and then yeah.
So that's definitely those are going to be 5 and then 5, 10 deadly picks every round. Every 2 rounds.
As they say in the World Cup, that's the group of death.
Yeah.
So that was final. That's been finalized. I got the website updated. I got to put in the draft picks, like set that. But all that's done. Put in the new scoring for the kickers, and got that put in. Updated the draft number of rounds. So so we got all that.
Yeah.
That's in there, and set the draft date, and so all that business has been dealt with. So just got to get I'm going to send Tuesday is kind of my BFFL day. It's a little bit slower for me during the summer, so I'm going to send Wayne like, hey, pick out your jerseys and get all that stuff ordered as well. So it's getting there.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
So,
I was about to say it's getting close to like starting to look at mock drafts for next year, and
so since we don't have to worry about it, who goes number 1? If you had the first pick, who goes number 1?
Oh, I'm a little bit biased here. I would probably go Bajan, but
I talked to the Terrors about this because I'm pretty sure they have the number 1 pick.
They do.
Yep, they did.
So I told them I have no idea. I don't know who you go this year. I think there's you can make an argument in my head for Jahmyr Gibbs for sure.
Yeah.
With Monty gone, but then his risk rating to me is now so much higher too. With the whole thing was the Sonic and Knuckles thunder and lightning kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That I don't know. You're going to be exposing him to touching the ball a lot more, which is good, but also a lot more risk of injury in my head, at least. But that's probably who I would take if I had 1 overall.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think there was 5 or 6 games there when Gibbs was solo and just went off, and it's just, and I tell you, I don't know what your guys' philosophy is. I don't think I'm, have any trade secrets here, but if you go in, I've told this to Oscar. I mean, if you go in and just think, well, guy's injury prone or whatever, you're like, really? Now, maybe if there's somebody that's got some kind of real issues, like maybe a CMC, whatever, but Wayne's proved to us in the back that, well, that could just mean absolutely nothing and you get another Brick Hat Bowl championship. So I think the injuries thing, I mean, and you just never know. You could have the guy that's never missed, i.e. like a Tom Brady, he gets hit and there comes in Matt Castle. You just that's,
I mean, you can't plan for injuries. I mean, I remember that year Bobby drafted Randall Cunningham number 1, right? And
Yeah, the
We were at
first.
my grandparents. Both we were all at my grandparents' house,
Yeah.
and you know they chimed in like, "Oh, Cunningham got a hit on the knee, and he's going to probably be out for the year." And you see the color just leave Bobby's face. You know, he was just like,
Oh,
you know,
oh,
but you can't. I mean, some things you just
you
can't
just
plan for.
no. I
Yeah.
tell you, it's probably one of the top 10 memories. I mean, I mentioned it a couple times, but I'll never forget there. We were, I think it may have been Frankie's, but we were watching in the old, long table, watching the TVs.
Mhm.
And it was the first and only time I get to draft Jerry Rice, and 49ers open in Tampa. And all of a sudden, Warren Sapp grabs Mr. Rice on an end around, tweaks his knee, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jerry Rice out again. Halftime of the first game, the one time I get Jerry Rice in my entire career. That's so you just never know. So those are
Yeah.
those kind of things that just everybody has those moments. So that's
Yeah.
You know, I think to win this league, you know, you almost have to take the Bruce Arians philosophy of no risk it, no biscuit. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got to take some risk. And I always say, like, I think 1 through 12. I mean, like, it doesn't matter where you pick at. You can have people around you. It's everyone's so good in this league about drafting. It's just a 1 through 12 is murder's row. You know, you just pick your poison, like where
Yeah.
you want to pick at.
I think for me, it's less about, worried that there's like a good player next to me. It's people who have like similar draft philosophy or
Mhm.
pick similar players to me or like similar players to me. And Wayne is one of those people. So it's like him right next to me is really tough, because I know consistently he's gonna. And you know what? He does it sometimes too, just to annoy me, just to bother me. He'll draft players and then look over at me, and I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" Um, I think there was a year where he took his second quarterback before I'd taken my first,
Yes,
Yeah.
and
yes.
then looked over and said, like, "Oh, the Riot Squad, like I'm sure they were hoping to get." He drafted like quarterbacks in back-to-back rounds, and I'm pretty sure he won the Brick Hat Bowl that year.
Mm,
So it was like, you know, uh,
yes.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's the whole thing is a murderer's row, but at the end of the day, there's certain people that you don't want to draft near,
Well,
or I don't want to at least, and Wayne is definitely one of those people for me.
well,
So
Oh,
Wayne made up a rule. I got the Facebook post, but Wayne made a rule. It says, while I take McCaffrey using the Brickhat Bowl winner reserve one player from your championship team rule. So, you know,
I,
so
I could see him proposing that next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
so
Well,
yeah,
what
that I mean, at that pick, number 8, McCaffrey could be a steal. You know,
he can,
so
he can get
but yeah,
McCaffrey.
draft order's been set. So we're we're
Yeah.
getting really into the 2026 season. So always kind of ready to roll it over during the summer and get
Yeah,
it going.
yeah. Well,
Training camp's getting ready to start.
and the good old, you talk about Wayne for you, Austin. It's like that was our Samantha and I. We were like, we knew that it was going to be a pick that when we picked, we knew ultimately we were going to be picking next to Matt. And it's like so many times. I mean, the picks, especially just even last year and the years before. I mean, it's just oh my gosh. I mean, I'll have like two players and I'll pick one, and it'll be I pick Jake Moody and he picks Jordan Mason, and it's like, oh, that's no, those are the yes.
Yeah.
If you're watching Rick, that was yes. But those kind of things, and then the good old I don't know, Joe Burrow pick, those kind of things. So we have that to get renewed. So the draft and the whole draft order and the whole draft is what really makes again our league so special, that we're not all 12 people on a computer. We're mostly there, and you get to see just those kind of fun events, and to have it at
Yeah.
the Battery, that is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fun
So-
and unique, and that's going to be exciting.
I'm very excited. I've never been there, so I don't know much about it, but
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Braves are out of town that weekend. We kind of looked at the schedule, but
Uh.
One day I hope to have the draft where it's either in Tampa or Atlanta, and the Braves are playing. That would be
cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did get, and it's unfortunate just because of the timing, and maybe one day just like this, is that the Buccaneers have started. This is the second year that they actually have fantasy football leagues draft in the suites at Raymond James Stadium.
No
Wow.
way.
So it's August 28th, which is just a little before the Super Weekend. So it'd have to be a thought if that's ever going to be, or a long weekend maybe as the years go by. But being able to have, you can literally get up, so you can get up to 16 people, and then they have it. You get time on the field, you get your time and your picture in front of the big scoreboard each league, and then you actually get to do it in the suite, looking over the stadium at night. So that's a pretty sweet thing too for potential future maybe.
That would be pretty awesome if we could make that work.
Yeah, I would think in the future, just hey, just for different things, just as we kind of await the coming of the Super Weekend when we'll actually get to watch our football games once again. So those kind of things that await us are going to be pretty fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, so everything's rolling along. Just I'll be sending out some emails next day or two just to kind of get everything out there in writing, because not everyone watches our awesome podcasts. I don't know why, but
There you go. So obviously I didn't hear anything back. Crickets kind of told me a little bit of what I was fearing, but I think the unofficial World Football Championship that the soccer folks do is pretty cool. And it's obviously done unbeknownst to any of the teams that are actually playing, and neat to know that the USA was the title holder for a few days at least. So, and again, I just like always thinking about things, and when I mentioned it after really not hearing any feedback from you guys, but I did hear, I asked Oscar, and he's like, well, what would its meaning be? And I was like, oh, that's good, because again, we don't really need more trophies and all that stuff, but he's like, maybe if like the winner at the very end gets like the entry into the Fantasy Champions League. So something like, so instead of just, there's two, there's always, one and two, the top 1 and 2. So maybe it's the number 1 and then it's the number 2. So he was just throwing something like that out. And I was like, Oscar, that's pretty cool, because, it's almost like a hot potato, and it's a kind of a fun thing, and it doesn't necessarily mean you even make the playoffs. You just have to have that title. So
yeah,
I thought, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm trying to think of how would it work. I guess with the walleye would just start with it this year, and then whoever beats the walleye would inherit it.
You could do it that way. You could start with a walleye because they're the champ, or you could just use this year to
set it
create. So whoever wins the Brick Hat Bowl this year. Now, is there a need for that? Because again, you've already got one. So my thought would be just declare the walleye the champion, which they are, and starting week 1, there's your first title defense.
You could probably, I don't know if you still have the records for it, but I would be really curious if you could go all the way back 36 years to the beginning and track it from there, like first Brick Hat Bowl champion to now.
Wow. I mean, I technically think I do. Yeah, that might take some years to actually go through all the stuff.
Yeah.
But, so
I'd be curious if like any defunct franchises maybe inherited it at some point, and then,
right.
I'm sure somebody did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's something neat that it's like, it's a moniker, it's a title, the WBC, if you will, World like Brick Hat Champion that you have, and it could be something. So you're, titles on the line. I just think it's kind of a unique thing, and it's different than the guillotine, because you're actually doing a mano and that type of thing. So there's a little bit of extra, that you only do one-on-one with the guillotine when you're at the very final in week 12. So, and again, what do we have to lose, right? I mean,
yeah.
So,
well, I'll answer your question, Austin. There's definitely a couple of defunct franchises. Brew Crew, for example.
Yeah, no,
And
the
they actually
Fusion.
won the Brickhat Championship in '94. So
Yeah,
Right.
but like the way this works, from what I've gathered, is that like the winner of Brick Hat Bowl one was which team?
Heroes
attitudes.
The
beat the
Heroes.
walleye.
And then the next year, let's say week 3, the Heroes are 2-0 and they lose to the Head Knockers, and then the Head Knockers would inherit the belt,
Yeah.
and then that would go on through the whole season.
Right.
And then I think the only way it would end up getting broken up would be if, like, let's say that the year the Brew Crew left the
Yeah.
league,
They
they were
had
the
to-
last. They won the
Yeah.
last game of the season to win the
Right.
belt, and then they didn't exist the next year. That would be the only way it would break up. But otherwise, the belt is one of those things where it's like if it makes it to the playoffs, it automatically goes to the champion too. So like more than half the years, it will probably end up being the winner of the belt will end up being the Brick Apple winner as well.
I don't know. I think we'd be surprised. And then I guess let me ask you a question, because it's interesting. I haven't done the super deep dive to figure out where because certainly in the unofficial.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what I mean, Matt? Where if the belt holder makes it to the playoffs,
Yeah.
whoever they lose to, or if they win the whole thing, is the champion. Like whoever they lose to. Oh, we got Christopher back. Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Did you hear my question? Do we go into the playoffs? Because the playoffs are their own unique thing, or maybe we just do it just to be the regular season. Does that make sense? I'm just throwing things out.
Like cut it off after week 13. Like
whoever. Week 13 is, that's the end of the championship until next week 1.
Then you have to decide who starts with the belt, I guess.
Well, I think the walleye. I think you're right. I think we take the walleye since they are the champion right now, and we just started it this year, so it's something new. They're the ones that. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I think it would be something fun and interesting. It would kind of keep some of the teams might be out of it. Like.
Right.
If you're week 13, let's say you're 4-8.
You're Buster Douglas, right?
Yeah, and you're going up against the walleye who are like 10-2, and like you beat them, and
take the belt.
you get something out of it. You get something out of the year. So
right. So no, I like it. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm thinking. I really do kind of like Oscar's idea, where it's not just something that's out there. It actually means something. So we're obviously playing the Champions League this year with the last 2 years. My thought is that we can do it, and we ask the other teams, but the other leagues. But
I don't necessarily like it just for the randomness aspect of it, because going into the last week of the season, like I think it's a really cool thing to keep track of. And honestly, I kind of like the idea of making it an actual belt. Like a title belt. I know we say we don't have enough trophies, but we don't have any belts.
We don't have any belts.
So,
no, that's true.
But I think that the Fantasy Champions League, the point is like these are the teams that put in the consistent, Formula One kind of consistent scores over the course of a season, and I think kind of rewarding that for something that could end up being random at the end of the year. Now I think most years the belt will end up with a really good team because they are winning the last week of the season, but a lot of the times it won't. Right. So,
I think you've got a great point, Austin, because you're right. You want it to be the accumulation of really good versus some of the potential haphazard.
Right.
Okay. No, I think you're right.
But I will try to think of something, something to make it interesting. Like maybe they get a higher draft order pick next year, or like you get to bump up your draft order selection by 2 or 3 or something. Just that one person.
That's a good idea.
You could do,
especially at the end of the year.
I could plug it in as like number 2, because we usually do like BFFL championship runner up. I could just slide everyone down a spot, So like slot that as number 2. Like I still think the draft order playoff winner should get the first
Oh yeah, absolutely.
option.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Okay. Well,
good.
I think definitely some options and thoughts that we could have on.
Yeah. No, I like it. Awesome. Cool. Okay.
And that might be if we do the draft order, put it out there as a 2027 spring owners meeting idea, change that up.
Sure. Yeah. And then we'll roll into the 26th because we can do this. We don't need to vote on it. It's fun. And that's the great part about it. So, okay. All right. So maybe unless there's any more BFFL items, I guess the NFL, I think the first thing that was a big deal in the last month was certainly, and you kind of find it interesting. I mean, the trade I think with Myles Garrett was huge. I mean, we're talking, major first round picks, 2 first round picks. You got Verse, that's really a third, and it's one of those where it's like, it's kind of interesting where the NFL is literally going to that, and I don't know why it's always like these mega trades are like 3 first rounds back. I mean, the NBA, anybody, I mean, you can get a second round guard and they're going to trade him for 3 first round picks.
Can I say something before I forget?
Yes.
There was a trade I saw from the Knicks on draft day. I don't know how NBA trades work or anything, but they traded the draft rights to a player that was drafted in 2009. And it was like they inherited the draft rights to a player that was drafted in 2009 but never ended up playing a game in the NBA, so he could still technically be redrafted, even though he's like 41 now. There were like 3 or 4 different players in that trade. It was a 3-team trade.
Oh my!
That were like players, draft rights to a player from 2011 and 2015 too. And it was like, this is insane. Like there's guys on the Knicks younger than,
Yeah.
Like
well, I do know this. Like salaries have to match up. Like so maybe they had to do that to make a salary match up, and the team was willing to do it. But I have no idea.
I guess I don't know if you're trading a 2009 draft pick in 2026, something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Well, and I tell you, and trust me, we could do an entire Commishcast on the NBA, and I still don't even know why it's technically a sport. But I tell you, you get into seeing like the NFL now, and it's funny. I mean, the NBA. I mean, just what Ja Morant was just traded, today. And, I mean, they talk about they go into each season like with their superstars. Well, they're going somewhere, and you're like, it's crazy. So to see like a Myles Garrett, which is a really big deal. And then to almost all of a sudden see that Aaron Donald might come out, and you're almost sensing it's kind of like the Miami Heat, when LeBron went there and they first had, the first, super team, mega team. And I tell you, so I bring that up, not at first, I'd like to get the trade reactions. And then the other part where it's almost like, especially if Aaron Donald comes out of retirement, I think you have like for the first time, and well, maybe not. I mean, you guys can, but I mean, if they're not the one AAA like favorites to win it all, I mean, talk about your pressure. It's like, wow. So I don't know. What do you guys thought?
I think that, the Rams see that they're, I texted you guys a little bit about this. The Rams see that they're a couple plays away from winning the Super Bowl last year, right? Because they beat Seattle. They're going to beat the Patriots in almost all likelihood.
Sure.
And so they see that, and then for whatever reason, they go into the draft and they draft Ty Simpson at number 13.
Yeah.
And you're like,
they're number 3 quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Right now.
It doesn't make any sense. He's battling Stetson Bennett or whoever for the backup job.
Right.
And so you're like, this doesn't make any sense. And then they do the smart play and they trade for Myles Garrett and make like an absolutely incredible trade. And it makes the Ty Simpson pick, in my mind, look a lot worse. Some people have said that it makes sense for that, like you're going all in now, so you want to have a guy set up for down the road in the future. No, if you're going all in, if you're going all in, you don't hold
in. Right.
We tried that here. So.
Yeah, and we saw that the Falcons tried to do the same thing with Penix, and it didn't work. I think we can. I mean, unless Penix has like a Sam Darnold kind of career revival,
he's a bust.
It makes that pick look even worse than it did, at the time, which was bad. Right. So, to me, I love the trade. obviously. It sucks kind of losing Jared Verse, but and he told the Rams, I don't know if you guys saw this, but he told them when he left, beat Seattle, beat the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So I think they've got to be the Super Bowl favorites right now.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I think you only have a Super Bowl window for so long, especially in the NFL. And, Stafford's 38 now. I mean, Devontae Adams is in his 30s. I mean, everybody's kind of getting up there in age. You were only a couple of plays away last year from winning it all. I mean, why not? I mean, like, they've proved they can't draft a first-round pick. I mean, they drafted Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
I mean, It's like, why keep our picks? Yeah. So, I mean, I love it. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. And the thing is, you're going to take every team's best shot every week, the whole season.
Right. Now, remember, and I think this was like, I remember it was, I forget the whole thing, and so I'm going to mess it up, so I won't even say it too much, but it was, I always remember like Joe Montana. Joe Montana always said basically like, when you're playing and you're the quarterback, they're coming for you every play, and they really want to put you out, like every game, because you pick out Joe Montana, except you have Steve Young, then you're okay. But so my point here in this is, I kind of understand what you're saying, but let's go a little bit deeper in that. Yes, here's this team. You're not talking about, if you have Myles Garrett and, oh my gosh, Aaron Darnold comes out. Yeah, if you're rebuilding with McDuffie and I get it. If they're rebuilding the 85 Bears, which you're kind of getting close to, you might not have to worry about this. But if you go into the season without a backup quarterback, when your true quarterback is 38 years old, I tell you, and I know Stafford's as tough as they get, but that doesn't matter. If they're coming at you every play and all they need to do is hit you one time and Ty Simpson's your backup, wow, you have failed, LA Rams. So now you've got to do this. You've got to suck it up. You got to go out there, whether you're getting a Jameis or somebody else out there that can take you with all this talent. If you go into this season with a backup quarterback that's like Stetson Bennett or Tyson, good luck going 17 games plus. And I'm not spinning that wheel every week. So that's just my cautionary tip.
I think we kind of saw that last year, Christopher, with Baker Mayfield. Like we went into the season with Teddy Bridgewater as our backup. And I think Teddy Bridgewater is a great guy. I don't think he can play quarterback at all. And he had been out of the league for 2 or 3 years before coming back.
Right.
And I think we saw, because of that, a clear hesitation from the Bucs to bench Baker or tell him, hey, please rest for at least a week or two. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of exasperated things and made things worse. So I think you're absolutely spot on. Like going in without a veteran or a reasonable. Who was it last year? The Texans. Oh my God, with who was their backup quarterback?
Yeah,
Davis Mills or something.
Mills,
was it Davis Mills?
I think so.
He didn't actually play too bad. Remember when Justin Herbert?
He played great. That's what I'm saying. You need a guy like that who can come in. He went like 4-0 with Stroud out.
Right.
So it was like that's what I'm saying. You're spot on. You need someone who can be at least a stopgap.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or just to carry him. Do the Trent Dilfer with what he did when obviously he was playing with Baltimore. You're playing with Ray Lewis in this dynamite. You need somebody like a Trent Dilfer. You're not going to do it with Ty Simpson. I don't care what you think. Or certainly Stetson Bennett. So it'll be interesting. I still am shocked every year of the teams that literally could win it all and their lack of a real number two. So should be interesting.
Yeah.
So
and Stafford's got a bad back already. I mean, his back's
hey, I'm a little bit older than Matt Stafford, but I tell you, backs, you tweak them and wow, I mean, remember the start of the season. I mean, nobody wanted to touch them, fantasy players especially. So, and speaking of, let me guys get your take on Zornsby here, Brandon Zornsby. I mean, wow! I tell you, what a turn of events. I mean, let's start with the beginning so we don't hit it. Yeah. So, here we go. This kid who I really hadn't heard a lot much of obviously, and then he goes like from Cincinnati, and then he's Texas Tech, and all of a sudden we have to hear these allegations on gambling, right?
Yeah.
And basically he's betting on his own team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, NCAA says no, and then all of a sudden, what was it? The Big 12 go,
Well, no,
or
the
was it the
Texas
Texas?
Tech judge.
Texas,
Yeah, it was a
It
judge.
was a
yeah.
judge in Lubbock who went to school at Texas Tech. Was like,
No,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
kidding.
So the judge in the first case. I have a friend who went to Texas Tech, so I've talked with him
Okay,
about
I
this
like
a
to hear
decent
it.
amount. The judge in the first case did not go to Texas Tech. The judge was originally like the original judge, for this jurisdiction, recused himself because he went to Texas Tech, because every judge in this area went to Texas Tech. So they brought in a guy from University of Houston or something. And but yeah, they suspended him only 2 games. And it was like the argument was they didn't want to do, irreparable harm to his career, but it's like, okay, but he broke like the cardinal rule of
Yeah.
sports. And the NCAA essentially was just neutered by this decision of like, oh, the NCAA can't tell you anything. They can't tell players anything anymore. Like, they were preventing players from getting paid. They were,
Right.
they're not allowed to institute their own punishments on their own players for breaking their rules, because courts can just say, no, you can't do that. To me, it felt absolutely absurd that Texas Tech was trying to fight this so hard that
Ugh.
the courts were willing to just let the NCAA's rules not matter at all. Like it kind of, I don't know where it stops then at that point of just like,
Well, I think the pressure was like schools, like I know like UGA's athletic director came out and said, we're telling all of our teams not to schedule any Texas Tech games. And now
Yeah.
obviously it's different conference, but then like schools in the Big 12 were like, BYU was like, yeah, we're looking at not playing them. And
Yeah.
it really, I think what really saved this case from, getting out of hand was schools were like, well, we're just not going to play them.
Right. Well, and that's exactly right, man. I tell you, I thought it was interesting where I think the quote unquote court of public opinion, I mean, you mentioned, and again, we talked about this, and, nobody's perfect, certainly, who's going to cast the first stone kind of thing. But you think of teams like, for me, you mentioned Penn State, my skin crawls just because of what happened there. And then University of Michigan, and stuff like that. And I know everybody's done some bad things, but I tell you, Texas Tech was, immediately was all of a sudden got like, we don't care what he did. We just want to win. That should have been their motto. We don't care what you've done. We just want to win. It was so obvious. They were for their, for worse or for better. They were going all in on this kid. And thankfully, honestly, when he basically kind of pulled the plug, because I think everybody saw what was happening with the schools were saying, we're not going to touch you. We're not going to play you. So that was, there was no way. Texas Tech was going to get the biggest black eye that you could imagine.
To me, it's so silly. Like I think Texas Tech probably felt they invested, $5 million in this kid, and they want to maintain that investment. And maybe he gives them the best chance to win, maybe not.
But what about ethics? Who sits there in the room that goes, "Hey,
they don't care.
What did he do?" Well, I know that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what you're starting to see in the NIL era.
Yeah.
Like you got these kids who are 18 to 22 years old. You're giving them $5 million, and you're legalizing gambling.
But the whole thing is, he quote unquote only gambled 90,000. It's not that; it's that he gambled on his own team. And people will say, and again, giving him a two-game suspension. Pete Rose lost the chance to get into the literally could be the best player of all time in MLB.
Yeah,
never could go into the Hall of Fame because of that. I just don't see how Texas Tech. I can't imagine sitting around a room going, "Oh yeah, 2 games, whatever. Oh, and one of them's a preseason game, kind of thing." It's like,
yeah,
I'm sure. I was thoroughly shocked, honestly. And I know, yes, it could be bad, but I mean, there are things like, I mean, things that are happening, you know, and certainly in a lot of cases, certainly like abusing spouses, girlfriends, and stuff. Yes, that is terrible, and in much
Yeah.
cases, really worse. There's no doubt. But there's precedence of the other part where it's just the integrity of the game. And,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that hitting or abusing or something like that's not important, but if you ruin the integrity of the game, nobody's going to watch the game.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, something happened at my old school, Kennesaw State, this year. Their top basketball player got kicked off the team because he was gambling on the basketball games, and he was he was. You could see some of the film where he was like
Yep.
intentionally throwing the ball away,
Oh,
and it was
There's
like, you know, it's getting out of hand.
there's been, I think there was a guy today in the NBA who got indicted for
Yeah.
two more guys, yeah.
and people were immediately posting videos of like, there was a game last year or whenever this was that he was accused of gambling, where his team was down 9 and the spread for the game was +8.5. And so it's like a meaningless final possession of the game. And he's like sprinting down the court and goes and dunks while the other team is just kind of standing around like,
Oh,
dude, the game's over.
Oh,
And it made the spread only 7. So it was like
oh,
a clear and obvious point shaving kind of scenario. Like the baseball guy who his first pitch like was statistically way either slower or like out of the zone compared
It was
to
a guy from
every other
Cleveland.
pitch.
It was
Yeah.
their closer.
yeah.
Yeah, and all of these guys, in every other example, all of these guys are either in jail or permanently banned. Like,
I know.
yeah, I don't. To me, it didn't make a ton of sense why they were so willing to defend this guy. But
It's
I
all
guess
about winning.
they can
Lack
win
of ethics, and all
And
about
it's-
why mighty win.
Yeah.
But then the twist, the NFL says,
Yeah.
well, by the way, we're not having a supplemental draft,
Nope.
which he's like just conveniently going to go for so I can play in the NFL next year. Wow. I tell you, when I saw that, you know, the NFL, and talk about scruples, but I was like, that was just I thought that was amazing. I really,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for the NFL to argue like morality here, but they made the right decision, I think, 100%.
yes. They
Well,
really
and also,
did.
I'm like, he needs to pay his due, you know, like whatever, like, serve time. I don't know what he's going to get or whatever, but
Well,
like,
I don't
or
think
take a year off. But
I don't necessarily think he did anything illegal other than, breaking the NCAA's rules and like
Well,
code
get
of
help.
conduct.
go get your help.
Um,
Like, go get some
I-
help for his
yeah,
gambling
yeah.
issues. You know, like, I don't mind that, but he needs to take time off from the game.
Absolutely. That
and-
was part of
and do
Texas
that.
Tech's whole initial argument too, was that they're like,
Well,
he needs to play, he needs
For
to
his-
be on the team still
his
so that
mental
we can help him in recovery. And listen, addiction's a very serious thing, and it sounds like this guy might have been a gambling addict as well, to be
oh my
honest.
gosh. Yeah, absolutely.
But using that to like justify keeping him on the team, like if they were being real about it, they would say, oh, he does not need to be in this environment that is clearly encouraging this. It'd be like it's telling an alcoholic, okay, that's fine. You can still keep your job at the liquor store.
Yeah.
Just don't drink anything there.
You can
Like,
still hang out at the bar after.
yeah,
after
he
that-
needs
after
he
work,
needs this
you know?
job to, as part of his recovery. Like, come
Yeah.
on. So that felt a little silly to me.
Yeah. But again, in the NFL closing the door, which I think really needed to put their foot down, and seeing even the CFL follow suit and basically say, yeah, we're not taking him either. It was just, the perfect thing. It's he does, obviously, have an issue when you're making millions and you're still betting thousands of dollars, guys, that kind of thing. So I just thought it was an incredible twist that, it was good to see, had it been the WWE or something like that, he would have been made the star of the show because he was the it person, millions of clicks and all that kind of thing. But it was really good to see the NFL just go, no, we're putting our foot down.
Yeah. Well, go get your help, and then, maybe you can get drafted. I mean, I'm always about, hey, go get help, redeem yourself.
Absolutely.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah. You just have to be able to be right, because he honestly had already finished a gambling anonymous kind of program. So that he had already finished that in the part of the before he even got the 2-game suspension they were giving him. So, how much is that really? I think you do need to really time and reflection and such like that. So, so we'll see. We'll see. So speaking of, I guess any update, but let's move on to what's captivating the world right now, the World Cup. Speaking in some of the hot topics here.
Yeah, I Germany just had Paraguay. They were down 1-0, so now it's
No way.
1-1.
And you didn't like interrupt us with the update?
No. I wanted to wait for us to get to the World Cup segment.
Gotcha, I like it.
But I haven't seen much of the game. I just have the score up on the other screen, and I see that Germany just tied it. So, yeah, I've been loving it. I love the World Cup every year, and I feel like this year has been super fun. And I think it's helped a lot that this is easily the most exciting Team USA I've ever seen. Like, absolutely. I think that I'm so used to these teams that go out and they try to win 1-0 or try to draw 0-0, and you're just like, this isn't fun to watch. This is why people call soccer boring. And this team, you cannot accuse them of being boring. They've been super fun. And I think it's been it's gotten people excited. I think it gets people excited every time it rolls around, but people have been pretty excited about the World Cup.
Yeah. Well, and I think just the whole, again, fact that, it's certainly with people. And I think anytime you have icons of the game, and I think, Lionel Messi to be playing, in Miami and being in this World Cup, and all of a sudden, the superstars are just rising to the occasion. I mean, Messi, the hat trick at 38, and then you've got Haaland that's scoring, you've got Mbappe. I mean, you've got Ronaldo who goes, I'm not done yet. It's amazing. I mean, it's truly the superstars, and that's really what any sport needs. If you didn't have MJ, if you didn't have LeBron, you didn't have Gretzky, you didn't have Ali. I mean, you didn't have Tom Brady. Sports just not going to be there. You need your Ohtanis. You just need those superstars, and so it's great to see that, which is amazing. But I tell you, and I'm crazy. Here I am, and there it is over there. But just seeing all the stories of the Scottish team, taking over, the Northeast, and then I mean, just seeing the rowing, what they're doing in Times Square, and it's amazing just to see how all these foreigners coming in here. And trust me, I'm living it over here, and people say, "Oh my gosh, America, sorry, whatever." And I'm like, no, you see what a great country it is, and especially when you speak the international language of sport. Or of music, something like that. But obviously, in this case, the sport. It's wonderful to see that, and just just in so many different stories and so many different levels. It's watching it from afar, but living it here a little bit in France. It's been pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I think it's really cool the stories like Messi. I mean, he's been phenomenal. I mean, he's truly. I mean, he's the Michael Jordan of their sport right now, even at 38. Like, just phenomenal. The goalkeeper for Cape Verde, he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
Like, to shut out Spain first game.
They've been training in Tampa.
Yeah.
Really? So, every team has different training camps all over the country. And Cape Verde's is in Tampa.
Yeah, and he had he only had like a few thousand maybe I think 100,000 followers on Instagram, their goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Before the first match, and then he had like 2.5 million after.
Yeah, it's up to like 6 or 7 now. Yeah.
No, 15 million. 15? It's 15 million now.
That's insane.
It's more than.
I love the stories.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying watching it, and I think the USA's got. I mean, I don't think they got a legit shot to win it, but to make some noise, get pretty far for the first time, and I think it would do really. They've done well, all their players have played in Europe, and they're just. I think this is the most talented USA team, and they already got the lead actor for their head coach Russell Crowe, so he's good to go when they make a movie about this team, if they do. I I've enjoyed it. Like me being off for the summer, I'm like, I just pop it on every day.
Yeah.
I'm like watching it, and Tara will call me and be like, "What have you been doing?" And I'm like, "Watching World Cup today." And if it's leading up to this week, it hasn't been too bad here, so I'll just watch
Yeah.
it outside and sit outside and enjoy the weather. But um,
Yeah.
it's I think it's great, and
Fantastic.
seeing like the Europeans experience American culture over here, like going to
Yeah.
Buc-ee's the first time or going to Waffle
Yeah.
House.
Yeah. I saw
And it's just been awesome. So
there's a German guy, Freddie, who's been going around. He's gotten really
yeah,
popular, and he's been
yes,
going through like small town South America, going
yeah,
to Buc-ee's, going to Waffle House. And I think like JJ Watt reached out to him and invited him in Houston because I think
Wow.
Germany was playing in Houston at the time.
hmm
Um, so yeah, he's probably at this game going on right now. There's been a lot of really really cool stories, and like you said, Christopher, all the superstars. It's fun to watch the smaller countries try to take on some of the giants, like a Cape Verde drawing Spain. That doesn't
Wow.
happen. So yeah, I mean, I love soccer. I like seeing
Yeah.
players play for their national teams.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
It's a bit of a different experience than playing for their clubs. And I think
Right.
that, one thing about this World Cup too, like I'm used to like a slow kind of plodding World Cup, and people were thinking like, the Algeria Austria game the other night. Neither team had an incentive to try to play hard and play to win. And there's a famous game from, I don't know, the 80s or the 90s maybe, where both teams intentionally drew because it helped them in the group stage or something.
Hmm.
And they were thinking that this could have been a similar case scenario where Algeria and Austria both needed a draw to go through, and winning didn't really help either of them. But if they lost, they were out of the tournament.
Huh.
So it was supposed to be this like 0-0, kick the
Right.
ball around, nothing happened kind of game. It ended up being the best game of the tournament. It was a
Wow.
3-3. It was still ended up
Really?
being a tie, but it was a
Wow.
3-3 tie where one goal happened in the 95th minute and the next happened in the 96th minute.
Oh my
So it
gosh.
was like
Wow.
this crazy, crazy scenario. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it eliminated Iran at the same time. So it was just like, it was a very, very, it's been a very, very exciting opening round, which to me feels like a bit of a departure. But I think the 48 team experiment has worked.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and everybody, just think about it. I mean, you need the underdogs. I mean, the Cape Verde and stuff like that, they wouldn't be there if it was just the 32 versus the 48. So being able to have that, I think, is amazing. And it's funny. I mean, we're saying how the world is getting to see America. The one thing that I really feel passionate about, and just seeing it now in some of the soccer matches that I've seen over here, and I just, again, and hey, I guess I can say this because I've been to literally just about every Buccaneer game that they've ever had, is that Americans also get to see the passion of a soccer fan base. I mean, there's stories of this guy in England who literally sold his house, and is following the England team like for the entire tournament. I mean, that is passion. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's unbelievable just to see, I mean, the way that these fans are. And here you are, you go to, certain football games, certain baseball games, certain whatever games, and, people are talking to each other and do all that stuff. No, it's like focusing on the game.
yeah,
You're talking about, it's kind of like when, like Austin and I or Oscar or whatever, we go to a football game. All we're talking literally is every play and what happened in every play. And it's like, there's no socializing, and just the
no,
passion that they have. I just think that that's great. And I'm sure they're Cubby fans and Red Sox and Packer fans and stuff like
yeah,
that. Not meaning those, but a lot of majority getting to see the passion, the way that these fans and then the teams play is something that we don't know here, and for most of us. So it's
well,
just exciting to see.
I mean, from what I could tell, it's like kind of like SEC fan bases. They're just like
yeah,
passionate. I mean, when I was getting my graduate degree, we were taking our comps exam the day Auburn was playing Alabama in football, right? And one lady was like, "Well, I can't go to our to the comps. Like she couldn't take it. And I was like, what do you mean? Like you can't take it? Like it's in the morning and you can go to the game. The game wasn't until the night at that evening. She's like, oh no, I'm tailgating all morning. She literally graduated a semester later because of that game, and put off a pay raise, and I'm like,
there you go. That's passion. Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a similar experience,
I think I talked about this a few months ago. I don't know if they ended up following through on it, but there were talks beforehand of banning tailgating at a lot of these events. And I don't know if that ended up happening, but I'm like, people talk about like American sports culture versus European sports culture. Unfortunately, because of the amount of cars we drive, tailgating is like an only American thing, but it is huge. And like, so people were saying, people have had the same thought too, Christopher, of like, especially for Team USA fans, like a lot of our chants, it's like, come on, guys, like we can do something better than this.
Yeah.
And we don't have like the kind of like the Dutch army that is going around everywhere. They are nuts. It's so cool to see. They do the left and then to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super fun. And so people were like, well, what are we good at? And they're like, oh, we just need to get some SEC marching bands and put them in the stands and get like 10,000, drunk SEC college students, and we'll bring them to Team USA Team USA games. Obviously a joke, but that's where you guys are talking about the groundswell of like natural sports energy that a lot of our professional teams really kind of lack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's some of the parts that you're saying is even that, it's neat because I knew two people that actually had sent me like videos from, they went to, the USA Paraguay game. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like amazing. I mean, they're going out to SoFi, they're in the sold out stadium. So, I mean, let's just say at the base, it's the national teams. Let's just start there. So it is amazing seeing the American fan base that is really, because, again, soccer is not America's first love by any means. So to see that we have, well, and it should be way above several other sports, the ones, NBA, et cetera, and other ones. But we are seeing this passion, especially, and it's great because, again, it is in America. We're seeing some amazing fans. And I tell you, I don't know if you just saw it. I just saw it in one of my new soccer things that I'm watching. It's like, and you'll know this, Austin, is Lewandowski is getting ready to sign with Chicago Fire. I mean, it's like, one of the greatest players of all time. And here we go. Just like they had Pele and Franz Beckenbauer back when, you and your dad your dad and me were like watching, Pele and, Rodney Marsh and George Best and Franz Beckenbauer. I mean, to be able to have these kind of players come to America and do that the way Messi, I'm stoked. I'm just happy on. And then we're gonna get Matt in our fantasy Premier League championship, and soon enough it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I guess in the interim, Tottenham stayed up. Oh no, that was right afterward. We did it right afterward. That's right. Because I remember grabbing my jersey. But we'll get you into it, Matt. I think
I've enjoyed watching it. I've always loved the World Cup. It's just something I love watching. And I know the last time they had it was in like Qatar or whatever. It was during the spring, and I had a very passionate student in my class because we were still in school. Right. And he was watching it. He was trying to hide his cell phone behind stuff, and he was like, I was just like, oh. I let him watch it. I was like, oh, you're doing your work. Like, I was like, what's the score of that match? Like I would just call him out, but I didn't really care. I was like, enjoy it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It'll be, I think, just especially now, because the other part is it moves into what, Americans are used to. And one of our favorite pastimes, the March Madness. Now it's knockouts. Honestly, and see, that's a tough thing. And I'll digress just for a little bit. And it's funny. It's like, why is soccer tough for Americans? And I'm sure everybody has different reasons, maybe personal, whatever, but it's always been, and until they solve it, it's still going to kill me, but it's better because now, just think of the first two knockout games, both have had goals literally at the time
in
of
extra
death,
time.
whatever. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, it's not only extra time; it's literally the last plays that are happening,
Yeah.
and that's the amazing part. I mean, that's the difference. I mean, everybody knows like when you're shooting, and I'll give maybe the NBA, it's one props here, is like 3, 2, 1. Everybody does that when they're an 8-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever. 3, 2, 1, and you're shooting that. You don't have that in soccer. I mean, you're literally got one guy on the field that knows how much time there's, not the 7.8 million or maybe 1.2 billion that are going to be watching the World Cup final. No. And that's the tough part, because you just don't have that last 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And the difference of, just imagine like like a true like clock down. But again, I'm not going to change soccer, and it's still a great game, but it's wonderful to see here have these 2 goals, at the death or whatever they call it, in the first 2 games. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. I can't wait to see the highlights and stuff.
Well, I know I was watching a World Cup match. I don't know who was playing, but like it said like 54 minutes, and Tara was like, there's still 54 minutes left in this. And I went, no, they're counting up, Tara. Like,
yeah, they count up. They count up. No, number one, I hate the hydration breaks. I think it's really stupid. I think
it's for money.
It's like, but it's so blatantly for money that it like, I don't know, it offends me how blatantly for money it is.
Well, it's 4 quarters now instead of 2 halves.
Yeah. But I also think that you're right. Like, to me, it's never made sense in a professional setting why they can't have real timekeepers, because it just adds another arbitrary subjective element into the referee's job, which is already hard enough. Like, a lot of these calls and a lot of everything, it's so almost like vibes based on like what what you're feeling at the moment, the tension in the game, and it can get out of hand like it did with Uruguay and Spain the other night. I don't know if you saw the Uruguayan players at the end of the game, just like the dude had gotten a red card in like the 90th minute, and after the game is like running up to the ref and yelling at him. I'm like, whoa, man. Like they'd gotten eliminated off of that, so it didn't end up mattering. But it's all really hard. So take some of the subjectivity that we know out of it. When the ball's not in play, pause the clock.
I know. And, I read, again, I follow this real soccer site it's helping educate me. I think we talked about last time. And, and there was a soccer league, I think it was the USL in America, that actually did that. So they actually did a stop clock. So, I mean, you would actually know that there's 4, 3, 2, 1. And so easily, obviously it can be done. So it's not like it's just a matter of tradition and making things happen and such. And, hey, if America's got to do it first. I mean, America finally is having a professional soccer league that's actually having promotion and relegation. So they're finally catching on to what makes it so exciting and stuff like that. So there's all kind of fun things. So speaking of, unless we want to talk a little bit more about the World Cup.
No, I thought you were going to bring up the PGA Tour.
Yes, I was. So I was just, speaking of, I mean, I tell you, we do it every year. We just get better. And it's really was pretty fantastic to see, the PGA, go, hey, what makes this exciting? I mean, NASCAR did it, when they actually had playoffs, and then all of a sudden you look at the 2-tiered system that the PGA is putting in to have some, promotion, relegation, and playoffs, for its fun. So I don't know. I mean, that's pretty groundbreaking for a sport that is worldwide. And to change and realize how amazing like the EPL and the other leagues have it that are doing that.
Yeah, I think I think the PGA probably feels a little forced to innovate after the Live Tour starting to cannibalize them. And I still don't know what's going on with the Live Tour and whether or not it even still exists or will exist going forward.
I don't think
because I've heard like mixed things about that. But yeah, I think that they definitely probably have felt some pressure to try to come up with new ideas and make things interesting for golf outside of the 4 majors, because the 4 majors are fun, and then probably it drives a lot of their viewership and revenue for the whole year. But the FedEx Championship or whatever, there's not really like, unless you're a golf to me it's like the casuals will watch the NBA finals and the Stanley Cup finals and the World Series, and they'll watch the four majors in golf, but having like incentive to watch anything other than those would be smart. So I
Right.
think that this is
Right.
a good way to do that.
I mean, I like it. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
creates like an edge, and change can be good. I always say, like, you can't just keep the rules the same. Change,
Yeah.
you got to adapt. I mean, then, like, for example, the MLB coming up with the pitch clock, I think it
Yeah.
was a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
It's,
Yes.
it's definitely
Yeah.
shortened the games, and I think it's
Yeah.
made it better.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for it. If the technology, if you're able to do it, go for it and
Yeah.
try to,
It,
like our
it,
like the
well,
BFFL's motto, just get better, right? And so it's the same thing.
well, and the other part is, I mean, you think about it. I mean, tell me, and I got to be, I mean, certainly you look besides the individual sports, you certainly don't have tennis and golf. I'm thinking about that. But I mean, they're now going to have literally like an individual like champion for the year, and not just like player of the year kind of thing. They're going to have a champion based upon, so which is another added bonus. I mean, they get the majors, they get the green jacket, they get
Mm-hmm.
other things that they're having. Now you've got the relegation promotion, but you're going to have like a champ. So they're
Yeah.
increasing, like Austin was saying, you've got all of a sudden another reason for just not the fanatic, the casual fan to watch and go, oh, hey, they're crowning a champion this year. Let's watch that.
Yeah.
And that's
because a lot of times you tune in on a random weekend and you're like, oh, Scotty Scheffler was in a playoff this morning. For what competition? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Were a lot of the other pros playing in it? I have no idea. Like, the
right.
what's happening on a week-to-week basis in golf, you're like, is
Yeah.
this important? Does this matter? Is this, is this a high popularity, high price, big tournament, or is this just another like random open kind of thing? So I having that kind of delineated, I think is smart. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about this subject anymore, but I thought of one other topic
Sure.
that I think we mentioned
Yeah.
before, that you slowly brought up, and I think baseball has done a really good job. ABS, pitch clock, they're making the game more modern, and it's right in time for us to not have a 2027 season because the negotiations are not going well. It is a mess.
Which is perfect. Well, because I mean, the main reason I would assume is probably going to be the salary cap, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's just get to the point where, again, and that, I mean, and I'm just getting in these last few years to, EPL. And again, it is truly the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
I don't care how close and wonderful it is a story to see the Tampa Bay Rays or the Pittsburgh Pirates or whatever, every year, typically, oh, and here we are, the best record in the American League. And do we really think we're going to beat the Dodgers or the Braves? I mean, of course not. And I would love to think we are. And who knows, maybe we're going to see a movie about it and all that stuff. But I mean, let's get to a point where you have at least a system that where the best players all of a sudden, I mean, and trust me, I'm a Chelsea fan. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, we like this guy. We're going to buy him. Oh, and all of a sudden, Arsenal's like picking up, and all of a sudden, oh, Liverpool. I mean, it's like the Dodgers. So, I mean, I don't think, and not only just for the stability of the game, but I really, I mean, of course, I'll always love the Rays and I'll watch them and go to them because they're my home team. But Major League Baseball, I mean, they can do all the pitch counts and stuff that they want, but having these teams that can do whatever, and buy whoever, and then have deferred 42-year contracts, which they're trying to get rid of that too with a 5-year limit on the contracts. And I applaud the owners. This is to try to not, blow up their own game. So I'm a little tirade, but it has to happen. It has to come to the point where, and by the way, like your minimum salary now for Major League Baseball is like $1 million, guys. Your minimum salary. So don't,
Well, that's part of the proposal. That's not how it is currently, but
but I'm sure if they're going to get a salary cap, the voters are going to have to give in some. I just think that you can't have a sport, especially one of the premier sports. And again, trust me, it's impacting the EPL and stuff like that. I mean, I can't wait I'm a fan, and I can't wait to a team that's, way down here that gets to be like a Leicester City did, 10 years ago. So I'll end with that and let you guys talk, but I don't think you can not have, I hope it's not a work stoppage. I do hope they come to it, but if that's what it's got to come to.
Well, my theory is why, like, the Savannah Bananas, all these, like independent gimmicky things are playing in major league parks. Why? Work stoppage next year. Like, they're gonna play in some of these ballparks.
Huh.
Like, I went to one at I went to the Savannah Bananas at Truist and went with Tara and her two kids, and Tara's daughter was like, she thought it was just going to be like Instagram, like, what you see on Instagram is this, just the singing and dancing, and there's more baseball to it than you think. I mean, there's a lot more baseball, but that's my theory on why they're doing these tours, is because like major league parks are like, hey, we're going to lose money. These owners are like, we're going to lose money next year if we're not playing. And so they can open it up and have Savannah Bananas or whoever play there.
Yeah,
I could see that. I do agree with you, Christopher, that it's something that needs to happen, and I guess it's unfortunate that it's happening now when it seems like baseball's, at least to me, my enjoyment of the game is much more than it was in the past when before pitch clock and ABS and things like that, where games could take 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
And now you're like, okay, it's going to take 2.5 hours maybe, and I can have it on the background, and I know like the time between pitches, like it's on a more regular kind of basis. Anyways, yeah, I think that it has to happen. I know it sucks for the players, but I think it'll end up being good for like middle to lower class players, as opposed to the top end guys is really who it hurts. And
isn't it really better for the league though? I mean, if you don't have a sustainable league, I mean, trust me, the EPL, you look at those teams, they're shelling out millions, almost billions, and they're hurting, and they're the best teams in the world in the EPL. I mean, they're having issues, ownership issues, and all this stuff. And I think that same thing would happen in MLB you have to protect yourself from yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I mean, the Dodgers are just a runaway freight train right now. Like, I mean, they're talking about getting Tarek Skubal for the for the season, and
I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope they win every single game. So people can go forget it.
Yeah, that it's so. I get that you have to do what you have to do to win, but that's when you can do it on a different playing field. Like in the NFL, we're talking about going all in. It's different than MLB going all in. MLB going all in, you're playing at a different level playing field. And the Dodgers have almost become like, for a little while, Manchester City was like the upper class of the upper class, where they could afford to spend, $80 million on a player as opposed to 70 that the other team would, be able to spend. And the Dodgers are kind of doing the same thing, where they like, if they can outspend the Yankees and the Cubs and the Mets and all these other teams by hundreds of millions of dollars, like, there's just no point.
Right. And I think that's the whole reason all of a sudden. I mean, again, and I know this sounds weird, but it's like, I mean, there is no difference when you're making, $330 million versus $360 million. You won't be able to spend that in a lifetime, in generational lifetimes. So let's not get ridiculous. And trust me, by the time, I'm passing away, I mean, they're going to be billion-dollar players, which to me is just crazy. We already have $500 million players. So it's, at what point does it literally start to cave in itself? And that's just all sports. I mean, that's, we're looking at, Mahomes is a billion-dollar player, Soto is like what, 750. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I think, it's interesting. I always love how like EPL, they always talk about, they don't talk about necessarily, unless you're talking about, and Austin, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just interesting to hear. You do hear about the total contract when it's like in transfer.
I know what you're about to say,
yeah. And then they said, but what they'll talk about is like, what's your weekly? And they're like, it's like 128,000 per week or something crazy. And you're like, what? I mean, it sounds.
most of the reporting is on, when you're buying players, and it's the buy fee, and I know the player doesn't get almost any of that. I think they probably get none, or close to none. But then they'll be like, there's some players that maybe Tottenham want, but they're like, it's out of our wage budget, and you're like, you could spend $60 million on a player, but you don't want to spend $20 million on his salary.
Right.
I don't know the financials behind it, but I do like that they put it weekly, because it makes you realize how absurd it is. You hear someone say like $50 million a year, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. And then you hear someone say, $300,000 a week, and you're like, wow, that is disgusting.
Really?
Or like some of these major league starting pitchers are making like, $2 million a start. You're like, what?
Yeah. They're like, every pitch, every ball is like $50,000. And you're just like, okay, what are we doing? What's going on?
Right. It's just, it goes back to, it's really, in this world that we're living in, it's really not sustainable, because it all comes back to advertising, comes back to us. And it's going to be at one point where it's going to tip, and it's either going to implode, work stoppage. And I remember, trust me, I mean, there haven't been a lot in our lifetimes, but each time they're impactful. I mean, the MLB, the NFL one, certainly. I mean, you lose fans big time, because nobody wants to hear about the multi-million dollar guys, and they're not making, 450 million. They're only making 350 million. Nobody is going to give So I think in their own smart way. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think you're absolutely right. I think the NHL, is definitely still not at the place that it could have been if it didn't lose an entire season in 2004. And of course, it was the year after we won the Stanley Cup. But
look how long it took baseball, like, for like fans to come back, and I mean, they really had to have the steroid era, like these guys, juicing up to get a lot, the McGuire Sosa home run race, but it all turned out to be a fluke because of the juice. But at that time, I mean, I remember sitting there like, oh my gosh, this is the best, this is awesome.
Yeah,
but that's the way they got fans back.
They've started manipulating the balls, and they've been doing it for years now. But like, there's a year where the juiced ball year or whatever, where every home run, or every hit is a home run. And I think I was seeing something recently about like the balls in the month of June was like statistically different than the balls in the month of May. And like, launch, exit velo, all this kind of stuff. And so it's like,
that's crazy.
Is that can't all be weather? Like, there's got to be some kind of there's something that causes this kind of correlation. And they're kind of really the only sport that can actually do that, because the balls in baseball are so like manipulable, so much more manipulable, and so much more important to.
But that's weird. I mean, I wasn't aware of that. So I mean, talk about your integrity of the game. I mean, just think of, the thing that, and again, the one thing I love about Major League Baseball more than any other sport, and it's the only thing, is their records, their statistics. I mean, I love, me, statistics is my favorite thing, and just the history and whatever. And if all of a sudden you're tweaking that to, I didn't.
Well, and I imagine they're going to have to do the same in Vegas when the A's move there, because they played a couple series out there, and like, there were balls hit that wouldn't have left any other ballpark. Like, they were like,
was it just because of the air? I mean, what about like?
Yeah.
So it's so dry out there, it's just easier for balls to carry, and so they were like, they probably have to get a humidor out there. Like,
there's stuff like that everywhere. That, like, tonight at Wrigley Field has, like, speaking of stats, the baseball nerds are crazy, and I love them. Yeah. And they have like weather-based stats. So the current wind conditions projected for tonight at Wrigley are like 47% increased chance of home run. Because
God. This is all for gambling, you realize, right?
No, totally. Or at least the guys that make it, or maybe started just interested in it and then turned it into something for gambling. But
crazy.
the wind is blowing out in a certain direction, and it's like oh, it's blowing out to left field. Like when this happens, there's
Oh my
we've
gosh.
correlated like this increase in the ball flight distance. So there's like unique ballpark dimensions. I think it's actually one of the last cool things about, speaking of, cool, unique things about the MLB. I think that the ballparks is
Ballparks,
100%
Yeah.
my favorite part of that. Like Fenway and Wrigley and all these unique fields where the dimensions are always different. It doesn't become like determinative of the outcome of the game, but it plays its own character in the story of the game that I think is really cool.
Well, I remember like looking at box scores of games. You get the newspaper growing up, right? And you'd see the Cubs score, and it was like final score 13-11 over the Cardinals, right? And you're like, I didn't see the game. The wind must have been blown out, right?
Yeah.
Or like game was 2-1. Well, the wind must have been blowing in. Like you can.
Yeah.
I mean, weather's going to affect sports, like no matter what. Like I mean,
the AFC Championship
some of my favorite NFL games of all time are like weather related, right? You just love like like the snow game between the Patriots and Raiders, in the playoffs, and it's just awesome.
Yeah. It is kind of crazy. I mean, you have certain players in like the old, Yankee Stadium. I mean, I know it was like had, you talk about like Fenway, the Green Monster, and just the, the short right field in Yankee Stadium. I mean, you'd be like, and it's weird because, again, statistics is what really makes baseball so hallowed. And then all of a sudden it's like, can you imagine if all of a sudden like a 57-yard field goal in Tampa was equal to a 48-yard field goal in New Orleans? I mean, what? I mean, it's kind of crazy.
That happens in Denver.
Yeah, that's right. With the thing. Well, that's why I was just asking about the A's. That's interesting. I would think that look at Coors Field. You think that there's, the home run king should be there every year, but I guess you still got to be a player, and just because you play 81 games there, I guess I don't know. So,
but so that was kind of interesting. I think it was a few weeks ago the A's played out there, and it was like, I mean, balls were just flying out of the ballpark there. So it's kind of a neat thing. We'll see what happens when they actually move there. So
yeah. Kimley Horn's working on that stadium out there too. So
woo,
really
nice.
cool.
Are they working on the one here too?
Kimley Horn, yep. So with the Rays.
Hopefully that happens.
I think it will. It's weird. I saw there was it's still amazing to me. I saw this little thing on Instagram where it was a local show that's just, on social media, but they talked about, public funds for, private entities. And I'm like, guys, you've got to be kidding me. Do you not think that your rate of return on investment? I mean, yes, you might be putting in $500 million over the life with World Series, with Super Bowls, with whatever you're going to be. The people that are coming down, especially, I mean, do we have to sell this to people that are in the state of Florida, tourism and stuff like that, and just the northerners that come down in retirement and be able to watch? Do we really have to sell this to you? I mean, and that's the whole funny part about it. I mean, you talk about like public funds. I mean, we pay for the roads, we pay for the buses, we pay for all of that. It's like, guys, this is entertainment, and you're getting. I was beside myself to hear them go, well, we shouldn't be using our tax.
Chris Ray was horrible. One of the guys on the city council, he said, I don't know a lot about computers. I don't like computers very much. But I had a friend who used the Chat GPT, and he gave me this, and he had a printed out conversation that his friend had with Chat GPT about why the stadium, like why the city of Tampa shouldn't pay for the stadium. And he's talking about this at a city council meeting. And I was like, this is a Parks and Rec episode. This is what it feels like. Like this is insane. And these people are real and they exist. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
This is the world we live in now,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm hoping that we can make it work. I think it makes a ton of sense. And I think I saw something today that DeSantis signed something about like, $50 million to the college for the purposes of developing it with this stadium project. So, the county's gone along with it. The state's definitely all in.
Right. Right.
The Rays are doing their part. It's really the city that needs to step up.
Are they
And
trying to put it in downtown Tampa Stadium?
no, they're trying to put it by the airport,
Oh,
like
wow.
across the street from
right next
Raymond
from the
Oh,
James.
it's
Raymond
from the
James.
Butt Stadium?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Which is,
Nice.
it's for a while, everybody, including me, wanted it downtown. But to be honest with you, now what downtown Tampa's become, they don't need it. And
Yeah.
as much as I would love it, I mean, we already have the arena, obviously
Yeah.
for the Lightning, but for the, arena events, concerts and all that stuff. Now they're going to put it by Raymond James, and they're going to make that just like its own like entertainment district.
Right. Sports.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like
The Battery.
Wrigleyville, like the
The battery
Battery.
for the Braves. Yeah. I know.
Choice.
I know they're looking to build a hockey arena like 1 mile from me. They're gonna.
Wow.
Developers said that they would tear down North Point Mall and put it in a hockey arena and make it like the same thing what you guys are doing, like an entertainment district.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, just take my money now. Like,
Yeah.
sign me up. Like, I'll
Yeah.
get season tickets in a heartbeat.
They
For that.
my problem with that is the NHL does not need to expand. There's already 32 teams. We don't need 34.
Send a team here.
They're talking this week about expanding to. They're talking about having a franchise in Houston or Austin, and like Gary Bettman was talking about it at the league meeting this year, and it's like they've talked about going back to Atlanta. They've talked about going back to Phoenix and making that work eventually, and it's like, guys, there's barely enough players that can play in the NHL like at a star quality level. Like, it's about superstars, and the more teams that we have, the fewer teams that the fewer superstars on your team, or the fewer quality players on your team. And I don't know. I think that expansion past a certain point is.
I think 32 is a
excessive.
nice number.
Yeah,
because
32 just works.
NFL is a great number. I don't mind
Yeah.
baseball if they expand to 32. But 32 is a nice number to me.
Yeah, yeah. The good part is that you think about it though. I mean, talent-wise, I mean, so much talent obviously comes from actually non-USA born. So it's crazy how much is Europe, Russian, all that stuff. So at least it's not like you can only have American players that we're having to basically fund all the teams. So, but I agree. Yeah, you don't want to.
Anyway, if they put a team up here when the Lightning come up I'll have tickets. So just come on out. So
there you go.
Sounds good.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, cool. Any other last topics?
I know we've had several engagements in the BFFL. It seems like Paris has been a hot place for engagements. So.
Yeah. Well, one Paris, one London. Actually, Oscar's was London. So getting there. Jesse had Ireland. So
or Europe. Europe's been a hot place for engagements.
Yeah, Europe is, there you go. Julie had Clemson, that other hotbed.
Yeah.
So it's well, the BFFL family is getting new members, which is always wonderful to see. I'm hoping that Oscar will be able to bring Emily and to the Super Weekend this year. Haven't thought to ask him or anything, but I'm sure as they begin to plan it, that'd be a nice induction, especially something special up there. So
yeah, she'll get just ambushed with a million different questions from a million different strangers. It'll be fun.
yeah, should be wonderful. So that's
nice. Cool. Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, it's been a wonder, and I I'll leave with one thing, a little somber note, but I think prayers for Chris Johnson, the NFL. I don't know if you saw that, but it's terrible. It's a terrible disease, ALS, and he's certainly a wonderful football player, BFFL veteran, committee Hall of Famer, and just seeing his saying, hey, I'm the same person, I'm putting up a fight. It's wonderful, and it's nice to see his determination to do that and to bring another face to it. So praying for peace and for his family and strength. So for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll leave my last thought is, hey, America's turning 250. enjoy
Yeah.
it this week. I think we're not a perfect country, but we're really good. We're
Yeah.
great. I think we're a really good country. I love living here, and and I have the best friends in the world. That from here, and I think it's a great place. And so we're far. We're not
Absolutely.
perfect, but I think we're a great place.
I,
So
I like to think whenever we get into disagreements that it's not because one side or the other, just hates the country. I think it's that both sides love the country so much that they want to make it better.
yeah,
And they just have different ways of how they see that going about that. So
yeah,
Yeah,
that's always been my view behind it.
that's a great way to put it. I like that.
And yeah, it's exciting. I wish we were playing on July 4th. That would have been unbelievable.
against England. That
Against
would've been
England, I
fun.
heard
Against
that.
England,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think that game's going to end up being France and Germany playing in Philadelphia on the 4th of July, which will be a crazy game if that ends up happening.
Yes.
But
Considering
Germany could
World
lose
War
this
II.
to Paraguay. So
Is
we
it
don't
still
know.
1-1?
Yeah, it's an extra. They're in overtime now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, I can sit there and turn that on actually now.
Yeah.
So I will get there and do that. Yeah. Considering, I mean, there literally could have been, there could have been 2 upsets in those first 2 games. So
Yeah.
and that's
I think this is another great thing for the USA too, because we beat this Paraguay team by a lot. We beat them 3-1, and Germany's struggling. So I mean, Team USA.
I mean, I always say you never know. Like in one of those one and done deals, like I mean, you never know. Like you get hot and start making a run,
and I think the most watched, maybe besides the USA, but the most watched game will be Argentina and Cape Verde. They're playing, and that's there's going to be a lot of folks who are going to be. I mean, that's true David and Goliath there. So that'll be cool. Very cool. So. Well, cool. Well, I like, I like, we covered just about every sport there, and a lot to be covered. So, come.
If you're looking for more, tennis is going on. Wimbledon's this week.
Guess what? So by the time we connect in the end of July, World Cup will be over, and we'll be able to recap that.
Yeah.
Samantha and I are headed to Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And so we're going to Wimbledon on July 9th. So get a day there. And then the following week, we're going to Royal Birkdale, which has been really one of high on my bucket list to go see the Open in England. So I'm very excited.
The golf Open. Oh, awesome.
The British Open. Yeah. So
I love watching that because it starts at like 5 a.m. over here, So I'm getting up and turning that on.
Yeah, you wake up in the morning, you're like, Scotty Scheffler's hitting a ball out of weeds that are 3 feet tall.
Fescue,
the bunker's like,
the pot bunkers,
a wall 20 feet high, and I'm just drinking coffee, and I'm like, he's in the bunker, he's sitting.
And they're usually in their all-weather gear, and it's raining, it's like 54 degrees, which we haven't figured out yet. We're not sure what the temperature is going to be, but let's hope it's not that. So we shall see. But a lot will be talked about in a month from now. So.
And it'll be training camp time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Opening NFL stories, and and should be fun.
Yes. It should be cool to see. So then we could start doing some not only hot takes, but we'll be coming up on predictions pretty soon. So
yeah. About a little over a month.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait for it. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to tell Wayne, maybe we'll have him on as a guest before the season starts and tell him about all the championship he gets to defend. And he doesn't even realize he gets 2 championships to defend starting with week 1. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, taking stuff to the trophy shop today, it was a lot of Wayne. It was a lot of walleye, stuff.
Hey, we kept him from getting the Triple Crown by 5 points.
Yeah, the Commish. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Whew,
yeah. My trophy guy was like, the walleye's got a lot here. And I'm like, yeah, they do.
Yep.
So, yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Well, thanks guys. So it only went 12:37. That's workable. That's
an early early night.
Yeah,
for you.
normally we're starting right about now. So
Yeah.
Well, and hey, I get to, like I said, go watch the end of the Germany game, so that'll be neat.
Yeah.
And trust me, unfortunately, well, France starts at 11 o'clock on Tuesday, and then America is at 2 a.m. But I got to watch
Yeah.
it. It's a knockout game, so
Yeah.
cannot
Yep.
let that one pass. So
All right.
are you guys 6 hours ahead of us right now?
6 hours. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
guys.
cool. All right, man. Well, you
All right.
guys, great to see you guys again. Thanks for
Yeah.
letting
Absolutely.
me get my sports fix in English. So it's a little tough over here, not with the language, but certainly great to talk and be able to rap with you guys. So until
Yep.
next week.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Au revoir.
All
Au
right.
Merci.
revoir.
See you guys.